Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options and Play video update. Um, we are through a large portion of earnings. There's still plenty to come, but we're through a large portion, and it is kind of another one of these quarters like we saw over the summer, where it seems as though a lot of the action might be taking place ahead of earnings. So, seeing some pretty big moves ahead of time. A little bit less consistent moves on the actual earnings. There are some great um, names that have moved after. I mean, like Google today. I mean, Netflix a couple weeks ago. But in general, a lot of like the more high profile reports, noticing just aren't moving as much. And I think that's because well, last week was kind of like a one off with like the whole like short squeeze and people lining up, et cetera, et cetera. But also, a lot of stocks have had pretty big moves into earnings, right? Like Tesla had a big run, Apple had a big run, Microsoft had a big run, et cetera, et cetera. So um, this not totally out of the blue. I had a feeling that it was going to be a decent quarter for ramp into report style trades because we were in pretty strong trend across the market, and that usually lends itself to like these types of plays. So that's really what we've been focusing on. And last week again was a little unusual because of all like what was going on with GameStop and how shorts were going up, longs were going down. But what's worth it is to do a little game planning, right? Like look out a week, see what's reporting like 3, 4, 5, 7 days from now because it can really set up trade opportunities ahead of time, right? So like last week when all of like the tech or one of like some of these high momentum names were pulling back, I was looking ahead on the calendar, see what was reporting this week because I wanted to look for some ramp into the report opportunities. So when I saw pins drop, to me that was interesting because pins is coming off of two fantastic quarters. The stock was great just up until um, just up until recently, right? It had gotten hit just lately off of a lot of like the selling that got wrapped up with that, and I thought good couple good quarters. I mean, the stock was acting great. It was above most moving averages. It had a quick dip, opportunity for a rally into earnings, and then what do you know? 3 days later, the stock is rallying and the trade has played out, right? So you don't always need the the stock to actually report to catch a big move. Sometimes you catch the big move ahead of time, right? So when it dips, look for stock to stabilize and look for like a rally ahead of earnings, right? So like Qualcomm, same idea, right? Coming off a great quarter, a stock has acted fantastic. 5G related, or a lot of the semi names this quarter have been pretty good. So when Qualcomm rolled over last week, that was one where I said, okay, the reporting this week seems like it's a top name coming off a good quarter above support. Seems to set up well for a rally, right? So you get the stock roll into support, hold support, turns and rallies ahead of earnings, right? Because people are expecting good numbers, people bid up the stock ahead of numbers, and then you get a move ahead of time, right? So in each of these cases, don't necessarily need to take options into earnings because a lot of the move or a good portion of the move may have already occurred ahead of time, right? So lock in the move prior to earnings, see what they say, see what the stock does, and then maybe we can revisit for like a quick trade right after, right? Maybe if it doesn't move a lot, or even if it does move, maybe it sets up for like a fast swing trade opportunity. Ideally, with the option pricing maybe coming down after the catalyst has been removed. All right. So I basically I just want to reiterate, like, if you're discouraged because you're not seeing huge moves on the actual earnings of this quarter, then maybe look at it a little bit differently. Look at some of these plays ahead of time. See if you can find some of these ramp into report candidates that are playing out prior to earnings because there is still some good action, but these just require a little bit more game planning. All right. So if you like this video and you're looking for more information on trading earnings with options or more information on this rampant report strategy, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options and play. I hope you have a wonderful night. Stay well, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.